oh, maritime lawyers make a lot of money. So to me, that was like a mental hook, So the money was the main motivation.
Me?
Fact and bold.
6, 7.
Lex Venture, Maritime Law. Good day, everyone. Have you ever wondered what maritime law looks like beyond ships and ports? And joining us on Lex Venture Maritime Law today is Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. Just by way of brief introduction, I started my career in 1994 for 3 years in the marine insurance industry, and then I spent about 4 years after that in Singapore with an international law firm, and for the last 25 years I'm in active shipping practice here.
So, I am Sengzi.
And I'm Eva. We will be your hosts for this episode. So today, Xuan Law Society and Mr. Jeremy will help law students to answer their queries on maritime law and to give us some insights on how the actual practice is.
Okay, so Mr. Jeremy, we'll be starting with the hot seat questions. Are you ready?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so kicking off with the first question, Mr. Jeremy, what is the difference between maritime law and the law of the sea?
Alright, so maritime law, at least private maritime law, deals with the commercial aspects of shipping. Like charter parties, cargo claims, insurance aspects, bills of lading. Law of the sea deals with the public international law aspect, like boundaries, sea boundaries, island disputes between states and countries, and things like that.
What drew you to specialize in maritime law and even shipping law?
Right. You see, not many universities, at least locally, offer maritime law as a subject in your law degree. But so in my case, I studied in the UK and it was offered as a subject. So I was interested in that. I was inspired by my lecturer at that time, and he actually said that, oh, maritime lawyers make a lot of money. So to me, that was like a mental hook, So the money was the main motivation. But I learned later that, look, you can make money as long as you're good in anything. But that was my initial interest in why I got into this.
So, what makes maritime law a distinct and highly technical area of practice compared to the other fields of law?
Right, because it is essentially a subset of commercial law. So you will have to understand the lingo, the kind of terms that they use in the market, like bills of lading, charter parties, and all these kind of terms, and the various type of lingo. But eventually, you will find that it's a well-structured area of law once you understand the basics.
So, Mr. Jeremy, I think this is an aspect that students might be very curious about. For maritime law, is knowledge of shipping, logistics, or navigation important for a maritime lawyer?
The fundamentals, yes, it is not difficult to learn. You must know how the market works, how the trade works. You must know how shipping works generally, alright? But you don't need to have the technical knowledge. That you will go along through experience. You just have to know the fundamentals, and then you will go along. It will come to you, because as long as you understand how the market, how trade works.
So, how does maritime law intersect with other areas like corporate or maybe environmental law?
See, at the end of the day, when you deal with shipping, there's always a board of directors, there's always a company, so it does intersect with the corporate side of shipping. You want to buy a ship, you also have to have transactional knowledge, just like buying a house. So you also have the transactional side of shipping, sale and purchase of ships. And then if a ship gets into some trouble at sea, like oil pollution, and also you're dealing with environmental law. So it does intersect with other areas of law as well.
So, Mr. Jeremy, are you ready?
Shoot away.
Statement 1. Maritime law is just about ships.
Both. I would say that it is connected to ships, but really it is about transactions like commerce, insurance, money, trade. Those are the essential points about maritime law.
Maritime law is heavy and difficult to learn.
It is not difficult to learn once you understand the basics and fundamentals of shipping.
Now, statement 3. Maritime law exists completely independently from national laws.
Whilst you might be involved in international laws, transactions and all, but it has to be articulated through or it has to be adjudicated in a local court. So you still are subject to the local rules and procedures.
Mr. Jeremy, could you please share with us a story that is rather interesting and has made a remarkable impact on you?
Well, the way I looked at it 25 or 30 years ago is that Malaysia is in the top 20 trading nations in the world. We are blessed to be geographically located in the Straits of Malacca, which is the gateway between the east and west. Alright, so billions and billions of dollars pass through the straits every single year. Alright, so the way I thought is that, look, with so much of shipping activity, so much of business, people do fight, they have disagreement. So where are they going to go? So if they come to Malaysia, who is going to provide them with the legal service? And I realized that even today there are only 23,000 registered lawyers in Malaysia, but there's only a handful of those practicing shipping. So I decided quite young or quite early on in my career that if I get into this, it will be a service that I can provide that will be something specialized and something very few people do, which will be more marketable and more important for my career path. And I think I made the right choice, and I think I'm living the dream, and I think that I would encourage you all also to pursue the same career choice if you're really keen on that. So if you see that you have a future in an area and you believe that that can be your future, then take the steps to pursue that. So I would say that that's why I got into it.
So on behalf of the Law Society, we would like to extend our greatest gratitude to Mr. Jeremy with us today. So your insights have definitely provided us with more knowledge and deepened our thoughts on how maritime lawyers actually work. So before we wrap up this episode, Mr. Jeremy, would you like to voice out our Law Society slogan with us? So I'll be talking and then you can do it with us together.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so it's the will to do, the soul to dare. Okay, like with this one, we can do this.
Alright.
So are you ready? Like I do this.
Of course, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so the will to do,
The
So
soul
soul
to
to
dare.
dare.
So it's a wrap for our maritime episode. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Jeremy.